Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Kunal from GTT Foundation, and next to me is Snehal, today's co-host. Yes, we are really glad to see you all in this today's webinar. Email etiquettes, write smart and respond right. In this today's webinar, we are going to look how to create a clear email, polite and professional way. How to communicate effectively on email. Before we proceed with the webinar, I would like to tell you about mentoring, what is truly mean and how you support in a professionally and personal journey. Yes, I'm going to share the screen. Hope so my screen is visible, Snehal.
Yes, Kunal, it is visible.
Research and exploring languages and modern world. He has presented research papers at the universities and different colleges also. For the past 4 years, he has been working as a soft skills trainer. And currently, he is working with the GTT Foundation, helping students with their communication skills and upskill themselves. Now, yes, we are with the Shem Shaji sir. I request them. Yes, yes, I hand over webinar to you now.
Thank you, Kunal and Snehal and all the host. So it's a very good evening, right? All of you. I hope all the students are happy after the break of yesterday. How many of you are happy now in the evening? Just respond with a simple thumbs up with my soft skill training and taking care of the soft skill part in GTT Foundation. Currently, I am staying up in Bangalore side. Okay, so I hope you had a good time and then you got a very good introduction regarding email etiquettes, right? Okay, so if you have anything else in between to say or comment, you can either use your chat box or you can use your record or something like that. You can unmute yourself and then ask something in between if you have. And then in case if you have, if I ask a question and then it's a yes, you can say cheese. And if that is a no, you can say butter. Okay. So either you can type it that in your chat box and then you can give the reactions in between. Let's make it engaging, let's make it colorful. Okay, so great. So let me start with my session. Let me share my PPT content. Okay, I hope all of you can see my PPT.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So let's read it together. Email etiquette, write smart, respond right. So it's a simple topic but has a very deep connections and deep meanings. So it's just a simple thing, but when you have to open it up, it's like in your peeling of the onion, right? So email etiquettes. Email, you know what is email. Etiquette, what do you mean by etiquette? Some of you, please, any one of you unmute and can you just respond for what is mean by etiquette? Great. So you can have a lot of meanings, you can have a lot of definitions, you can have a lot of answers, but I would like to give you a small Google answer. It's just simple Google answer that customary code of polite behavior in society or among members of a particular organization. Normally we see that behavior, politeness, manners, and all these things associated with a character or a person, right? But how can that we can associate that with an email? Can someone assess someone's behavior and character through an email? Is it? Would you think so? Let's ponder into some of the aspect what is real meaning. How do you find the etiquette? How do you find the behaviors? How can you value a person based on the email writing? So that's why I said it's a simple topic, but if you peel off, you can go a lot of deep. Okay, so let's start with our PPT sessions. Email etiquette, write smart, respond right. So writing is important. So how you write is really matters. And how you respond also matter more than what you write. Okay, so let's look into different aspects of what is email etiquettes. So our objectives, what we are planning in uh, this PPT. What is the thing that we are planning with it? What is email? We will be looking into what is email, why we have to use email, and then what is the structure of email, and how to write an email, and what are the do's and don'ts. Got it? So these are the few things that we'll be looking into, but as I said, it will going to make a big change in the perception of you to the others. Okay, so that is all about the simple thing, but I'm going to change the topic totally into a different area, dressing and style. Now you can see a picture where the lot of people are there, right? So I just want to know how many of you has actually uh, did I share, did I stop sharing this one PPT? I think I have stopped sharing the
Yes,
PPT,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Don't worry. So how many of you actually know uh, different types of dressing that is already there in that PPT? How many of you might have seen that kind of PPT dressing styles? How many of you dress well actually? So you can give a small thumbs up or something like that. How many of you actually dress anyone like them? How many of you actually dress anyone like them? Hmm. You can give a small reactions, small thumbs up. Yes. Do you do dress like that? Yeah, great. So let's look into different people over there. You can see a small uh, picture, and then you can also see in that picture you see a lot of people with a different profession, right? Different profession, and then there's a courier boy, there is a air hostess, there is a delivery boy, there's a person, there's a girl who is doing her hairs, and then there's a lady who is giving announcements, right? So likewise you see a bunch of ladies with different attires. So I just want to know, what do you understand from their dress? What do you understand from their dressing style? What do you understand from the choice of the dress? Okay, when you look over here, I'm just using my pointer so that you can be a little bit uh, straight to the point. Okay, so when you look over here, you see a lady in the black suit, and then we can guess that we can identify that that's a dress that a pilot wears, right? And then when you look over here, you see a lady in a uniform. So she is obviously the soldier. And then you see a lady over here in a court. What is that court about? The court is, she is an advocate, right? So likewise, she is an air hostess over here, and then there is a medic doctor over here. So there's a chef over here, right? So likewise, we can have lot of professions and a lot of people wearing different styles of dress. What does that actually mean with different styles of dress, different styles of attires, different use of objects? See, so what do you understand from that? Anyone? We can use your chat box. What do you understand from that? Dressing style shows their profession. Yes, dressing according to their profession. But what exactly it shows? It gives the meaning who they are, right? And how they would behave according to the situation. It gives an idea, right? A person who is a firefighter wearing the firefighter's dress will obviously going to react according to the situations. And a medic doctor, right? And an advocate won't come and then do his profession or behavior according to the different situation. No, according to his situation, right? So dressing is giving meaning. Dressing is actually giving meanings, to lot of understanding. Likewise, email is also giving a lot of meaning. So based on what kind of email you are writing, what how well you are writing an email, everything is a matter for an email. That's why we have taken this session. Let's ponder into some of the idea. So email, electronic mail or email is commonly be used to do a communication between computer to computer or between two people, but with the help of a computer, right? And then that is an electronic way of communications. Now we know that there are a lot of other communication processes like WhatsApp, we have Instagram, we have Snapchat, we have a lot of other things, right? But what is exactly the idea of email? We cannot do the business through WhatsApp. We can, but to how much extent? We cannot do that much, right? We cannot do that through an Instagram. The business, we cannot do a business communication through Instagram, right? So that all can happen through an email wise. So let's just look into that. It's an electronic mail, it's an email, and then it receives computer file from one to another, and then email stands for com component for a business communication. Basically, that is the idea that we are using. And then within business, between business, these are the certain points that we are looking into email. And then when we are looking into email etiquettes, right? So why has it used all over the world? It offers regular communications. Regular communications. Yeah, WhatsApp is there. That is like, we can use the text, but what is the limit of the text? You have a lot of text, but the space, everything that matters, right? The speed, 24-hour availability, the use of professionality, everything is giving the meaning for an email. So when someone says, I have sent you an email, that means that person has sent something official, right? But I'm saying that check your WhatsApp, that means that person is being little casual regarding the idea, right? So everything has a meaning, whatever they conveys, how they conveys, which medium they conveys, everything has a meaning. So email is something that keeps a professionality in our daily career communications. So when you are students, you wouldn't be minding that much, but you will be getting a lot of notification through your WhatsApp, right? So, but you get official communication from the college only through email. I'm sure that you are getting the same, right? So, WhatsApp is different, email is different. Why? There is an authenticity from the sender and purpose of the sender that is directly applying to you. But in WhatsApp, it could be like random, it could be edited, it could be different. But email is something that is done in a very conscious way. So that is why it says it's very respected, it's very professional. So email has a very top-notch understanding. So let's look into some of our idea. We have understood that we have email, but why there is an email rather than e-letter or uh, e-chat or e something else? Why it's mail all the time? So I have given you some of the letters: letter, post, post box, postman, lord. Let's look till there. Love letters, or discernment letters, etiquette letters, yeah, eulogy letters and invitation letters, lot of letters, right? So starting from BC, they were letters. They were sending by the kings. They were letters passed and transferred through the messenger. So that's why we have the word messenger, right? You know the messenger from Facebook. And then what is messenger? Messenger is a person who carries the letter from one, especially the king, to the next king or the other king, right? So the message, messenger, and now the letters. And the letter, that we have post. When it comes to our modern world, we have post, post letter or letter box. And then where do we do that? In the post box, we drop the post in the post box, and then we have a postman or a postwoman collecting it. Sometimes it could be for a small locality, but sometimes it could be a big load. If that is a small locality, as individual person will carry up, give. Prime Minister of India gets a lot of letters daily, right? What do they do? How do they transfer? So these letters from one place to another, if that is a very heavy load, they transfer it as a luggage, sorted out using the logistics. They will sort out and then use that post to communicate. But what about the distance? To convey the distance, suppose that if the letter I'm sending from here to US or to Russia, it has to go through flight, right? If that is inside India, it has to go through train, possibly based on the manners of how urgent the letter is. So that's a word, mail, where we can see from letter, the post, I'll come to the word mail when you see the image, right? So you can see here via air mail. Air mail means maybe the flight, but still it's not saying airplane, via airplane, no, air mail. Okay, leave it, I'll tell you. So first we are looking into the idea letter, letter post, and post letter. So in India, letter was established by British East India Company in 1766. That was the time where the idea of letter has been introduced. Again, the post office, it has started a long way back in Europe and then many of the Western countries, but it came in India at Calcutta in 1774, right? So that is also established by East India Company, and then that's why we have postman and post office in this one. Okay, now comes the word mail. So what exactly is the mail? When you look over here, you can see a goods train. Now we say it's train, but earlier it used to call us a mail or an express, right? So this heavy luggage or load of letters to a distance were transferred through the help of trains, right? Even before the airplane comes, train was invented. So during that time, the railway mail service were used in all over the world, and it came to UK in 1830, and then in India it's varied up, and then the idea of railway mail service started in 1854. Okay, so that's how we have the word mail or train. So that's why we say Punjab mail, Delhi mail, Guwahati mail. We know that there are a lot of mails are there in the world, in India especially, right? So now you know the word email or the mail exactly means like what exactly is it, right? So mail to email. Now we are looking into why email. You know that it's electronic mail. Before that, it was RMS, railway mail. It could have been, if there was no electronic communication, it could have been our mail. But good luck for us. We are in the modern society. We have good modern fraternities, and then now it is email. So let's look into how email has begun. So now you're thinking, sir, this is not all about etiquettes and this is all about what is email. Yes, I told you before about the dress. When you look into the dress, you should know which profession you are into right now. And then based on the profession, we have to give an idea. So you should know what is the dress about. You should know how the dress is about, right? You have summer dress, which is very light. You have winter dress, which is very heavy, right? Likewise, email also you have to know the cloth. Likewise, you have to know about email. So let's move on. I'm just making it up. Okay, so email, the electronic mail started in 1965. How, where, what? So in 1965, MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, way better, way ahead than any of the technologies when they were having the project. And then a person named Ray Tomlinson, he has been into a small project, and then based on the project he introduced a system, first email system known as mailbox. He was using the computer, he was using the system for developing some new project, and then based on that, he introduced the idea, he invented the idea of mail or email in 1971. So we have a project in MIT that is 1965, and then we have Ray Tomlinson. After 6 years, he created one mailbox, and then and he addressed the other person. He sent a message to the other person, one of his friend, using the common address that we have still using username, that is like John at host. Who is the person who is carrying the messenger? Who is the person who is carrying the messenger? That is the host. And then that's why we have John at gmail.com, John at yahoo.com, John at hotmail.com, right? So likewise, we have this address form evolved, and then he introduced this address so that it should be known, right? So that was the beginning of email in 1971. So let's check who is the father of email. Who is the father of email now? Ray Tomlinson is the father of email. So let's look into the main point. It started in MIT in 1965, and then in 1971 they had Mr. Ray Tomlinson introduced the mailbox, and then we have first address user at host. Okay, so I hope this was good enough for you. Now we are looking into a small history of that, to how it became Yahoo, Hotmail, Gmail from nothing. So we'll just quickly run through this. And then we have 65 in 65, MIT, where it started. And then we have Ray Tomlinson sent the first mail message between two computers, right? After that, when the people got to know that, oh, this can be used as communication process, even before WhatsApp, even before Facebook, even before way long before any of the electronic communication mechanism, the email was the first communication, electronic communication that was introduced. Thus, US military has adapted and taken up this Ray Tomlinson's mailbox system to the US military, right? So the email services and all those things started. So just keep this idea of history. I don't think you have to remember all about the years, but you just know first it started as a project in MIT, then it became a mailbox. You have the mailbox in 1971. Maybe you should know this. Then it has adapted to US military. Then again, after that, for a long time, US military has understood that there are a lot of other issues, especially the safety issues. It was in the beginning, right? There will be a lot of problems in whatever that we start. So they have to make it up. And then US military has changed. And then in 1976, email were used as service based on commercial packages per minute charges. Now, when it comes to the telephone, we know the fact that earlier telephones were used based on the coin, right? We have 1 minute. So likewise, even before telephone, we have emails coming up with with all this idea, right? So that was the beginning ways of email services to multiple people, right? So after that, they have introduced some softwares like FTP, SMPT, and IMAP, which were more of like FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and SMPT stands for Symbol Mail Transfer Protocol, and then Internet Message Access Protocol, IMAP, which was earlier email was all about online, where only when the computer is on you can do the thing and then you can receive it. But later, with the help of a software named IMAP, you can send when you use the computer, and then that message will come delivered to the other person even if that person's computer is not on. So that is how during by 1972 to 1980, though, so 1965 it started to 1980, 85, 88. During that time, they were developing this email system or the floor or platform. They developed, and finally in 1990, many of the providers, service providers came, like Yahoo, Hotmail, Google Mail, Rediff, and then they all came to the global market and then start to sell many of the subscriptions, plans. Got it? So this is a mini introduction about how and what was the email about, how was the email about. Okay, so I hope you are still there, and then I know that you are getting thinking about like, oh, okay, okay, how long this is going. Don't worry, something big is coming. Okay, so let's move on to the new idea, the real topic. Why email? What are its features? Let's look into all these things. It is electronic, it is cost effective, packages, interface, attachments. We can do attachments, big attachments, files. Yeah, maybe when you say, sir, we have this in WhatsApp. Yes, we have, you have that in WhatsApp. From where you got? From email, right? So where you got the spam? From email. Where you got the cloud storage? From email. What about the change of workspace? You know, you have now business WhatsApp, right? Where they got business idea of email, right? So all these things, cost effectiveness, charge, packages, interface, all these things, even before that we see right now, were all evolved from email. So the big brains had introduced all these things and they used it, and then they have turned all these aspects for a better future. Now let's look into the real area, structure of email, divisions of text area. Okay, so you know this, right? How many of you know? How many of you use emails almost in at least in a week or in some time? How many of you use that? You can raise your hand. Yeah, yeah, great, great. I see more hands. Yeah, 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 great. Okay. Mm-hmm. Lot of hands, lot of hands. Okay, great. So you use emails more than, sometimes if that is more professional, you use emails, right? And then you use more of like a communication process, and then you use emails to have more professional connections and more authenticity, right? So when you use this, you can see that when you open this in a computer or when you have it in your mobile phones, you can see that in the beginning there will be like a session called to, right? I hope you know that. And then I hope you have all do have an email ID. You obviously do have, or else you cannot use your phone itself, right? So you have to now. Everyone has to log into your phone, where you know it's a necessity that everyone has to sign into your phones with the email ID. It's all a different area and topic, but still. So we see that there is something called to. So what about from? From you are already typing, so you there are, they will be getting from. They will not be able to see to. Now you won't be able to see from, but you can see only to, right? So these are the areas that we are simply going to look the to area, and then you might not all have seen this thing or used this thing, CC and BCC. Okay, so I just want to make a small question. How many of you know actually about CC and BCC? What do you mean by CC? Anyone knows the full form of CC? Anyone? You can use your chat box. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can use your chat box. Okay. Mm-hmm. CC means carbon copy. Okay. Okay, what do you mean by BCC? BCC. Okay, bicarbon copy, carbon copy. I see many of them doing. But what is BCC? Blind carbon copy. Mm-hmm. Behind bicarbon copy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, that's good. It's very engaging. So what is exactly CC and BCC? CC and BCC is exactly a function that has the same thing to do. CC is a place you can add to CC where the people will be like, you know, not able to see. We will just simply look into all those things. But these are the areas that the address area, it's called address area, the introductory first line. And then we have one more person called as subject. We have one more person called subject. Subject is like follow up for job application 1 2 3 4. They didn't do the mail over there. They didn't do a big paragraph. Okay, good. So I'll tell you why. Okay, so we have the second part, subject area. First part is address area, and then the third part is called as text area. This area is called as text area. Okay, so address area, subject area, and text area. So these are the main area that we have to see, and then we will look into the different areas that exactly the mail will be there. So we'll just go into the divisions of text area, divisions of what all other things. So you have seen the text box, which is the text area or the text idea. First one is top box. I would love to call it as a top box where it called to CC, BCC and subject. You might have seen that area, the top box, which is on the top of your page, right? Next one I would like to call opening area. Why there is an opening area? So you have a ground for the cricket and you have an opening area, your opening batsman, right? Even though there is a ground, there is something has to begin, right? So the beginning thing is called as opening or opening area. So it's like, I hope you enjoy greetings and all those things, hi and all those things, you will see that right now. So here we are going to see what all are the areas that you have to mind when giving a professional email, or these are something that you have to keep as a etiquettes in an email. It's same like you should know what is the top box, which is the area. If you miss any of these, that still can make people read, oh, he is not a professional person, right? So let's look into some of the little more aspect. In the middle one is the body, the text area you might have seen where you will say, hi, I am writing this mail that is all about introduction. Next, content is all about like I'm currently looking for the job and that this one that one, and conclusion is basically the another text area or the body area where you will say, uh, it would be more pleased, kindly please do that, that would be area. At the same time, we have one more area that is called as closing where it would be saying, even though you will look onto all these things, they're very quick, very simple ones, you will look into all these things. Closing area is where we will say, like, we will just give them caught with sugar, and then we will make them happy, right? And I will tell you all these things, coating sugars and cheese and butters and all things. And finally, we have like top box, we have bottom box. What is the bottom box all about? It's, I would like to call yours lovingly, yours sincerely, yours faithfully. Also, the attachment area, you will see when you open that in your mail, either in a computer or something like that, you can see attachments, signatures, schedules, and a lot of things. Okay, so I would like to make a small point over here. These are the five main area that you have to think, see, and something that you shouldn't miss. Okay, this is the area that you shouldn't miss concentrating while writing an email or constructing an email. Second, these are the areas that I will be discussing. What are the do's and don'ts? And then in the middle we will be discussing about what or how or you should be writing, what all are the different models and examples that you can use. Okay, so now we have introduced, now we got to know about what all are the different uh, areas, different divisions in an email. Now we came to the main understanding, that is email, and then we have understood that email is something different divided with all these concepts, right? So as first I have mentioned, you have to know what is the material of the dress, then you have to choose what type of dress that you have to use for specific function. When you go for a wedding, you use a different one. When you go for a party, you just use a glittery one. When you go for a mourning, like in a death or funeral, you just use a different one, right? So it's a formal interviews each way. the texture of the cloth varies, and also the style of the cloth varies. Sometimes you change the colors too, right? So all these things you have understood the texture of email now. So now we are going to see how are you really going to plan which you are going to choose. Before choosing, you have, okay, before going, I just want to make a small remark on this. When you see on the top box, you can see a bottom box too. So top box and a bottom box. Now you say there is an opening and there is a closing. This is the main area that we sugarcoat people. You don't sugarcoat professionally, sorry, professional in a business letter or something like that, but sometimes you have to sugarcoat. Like, it's a normal way. It's not sugarcoating exactly, but it's just like, hi, good morning. Hey, thank you. Simple as that. You're not sugarcoating, but being pleasant in a place, or being pleasant, being happy in a places is something that is very important, right? So, and this is the main area where you have to introduce why are you really communicating with that person, right? So these are something that is common. The five main things: top box, opening, body, closing, and bottom box. Okay, so I hope you all can remember all these things, different five areas or the divisions in the text area or the structures. Okay, now we are just looking into the structure of an email, that is how it normally be introduced. So first we will look into two. So two, when you look into the two, who we are actually sending the mail, who we are actually sending it. That is all about the two. So I will be saying a do and don't when constructing a mail, even though we know that it's two you are going to send this person, but should we introduce two when you construct a mail? What do you think? Should we add the mail ID of the person in the beginning of constructing a mail or in the end of the constructing mail? You can use your chat box again. Some of you can respond in the beginning or in the end. Which one would you use? In the end? Great. I see bright minds. Okay. Anyone says in the beginning you can use the ID and then type it and include it? Okay. Nobody. So I see that I get more response and yeah, that's great. So I see that you all are bright minds. You should know that you shouldn't add the two persons email ID. The person you are, the one who is receiving, you shouldn't add it in the beginning, right? So why? Why? Because we will look into that last time, but I'm just giving you, suppose that you are sending random, suppose some typos, some lot of things, and then accidentally you send it somewhere, enter, you click on the enter, and then the main send. Now you cannot do anything, right? So you shouldn't add the ID of the two person or the receiver's person in the beginning, but you can still use CC and BCC. CC and BCC. What is CC and BCC? CC means carbon copy, and then BCC means uh, behind blind carbon copy, or someone says blind carbon copy or behind carbon copy. It also says. So CC, when it comes to CC, what is a carbon copy? When you see to the shops, when you go to the shops, or sometimes in the beginning, early times, the electrician comes, write the bill, and then they give you the bill. At the same time, there will be a blue carbon copy or the black carbon copy, and then if you remove the carbon copy, the bill amount or the details is already there in one of the book there, right? So in the two section, you see the CC, where you can include a person who wants to know this message is being sent, and then BCC is a person, or blind carbon copy is a person where you won't be able to see who exactly, when you receive the mail, you won't be able to see who exactly is there inside this mail. You nobody able to see the ID of this BCC, but rather this person who is in the BCC can actually see everything. It's like the divine, right? The CC is a person who look after or look from the top, but BCC is a person who knows everything, and it is sent to two, right? So you have understood the two section where you have to introduce the person. You should know to who you are sending. In that, CC is there, and the next one is BCC. Next, look into the subject. What is a subject area? Subject is basically the salutation area, greeting area, introducing area, or something that is you are doing something that is more of like, okay, there is a small change. uh, Subject area is over there on the down, and then body area is over there to the top. Okay, it's my mistake. So subject area is a must adding. Subject area is must adding to whatever that is, right? So why you have to have a subject area? You might have seen in the earlier content, it's just job application of 1, 2, 3, 4. And then subject area is basically a must adding. Why? Because when you someone receives a mail, they should know what is this all about. And then you should use only 3 by 4 formula sentence, and then you have to use it short and on point. Got it? So this is subject where you have to use a little at bare minimum. Now let's look into the body where you should have a salutation like hi ma'am, dear ma'am, respected ma'am, or something like that. And then you should use like small greetings, introduce your idea, and then we will looking into types of body, what all types of emails you have, and then different types of body. It's based on different location, different based on different understanding and aim. Next one, precise and apt vocabularies and words. Use proper ones. Finally, the ending, where ending with a smile, something that is really, really mattered. Signature, use your signature like who you are and your profession. And then finally, if there is any attachments and there is anything that you have to add, you have to do that. And then where there is proofreading, all those things comes over this side. Okay, so I hope you all can go with this right now. Next, we are moving into a small different session, that is the top box. You know that there are 5 elements top box, and in the top box we are looking what all are the things. Two, as I have mentioned, two is basically confirming the mail ID of the receiver, where you should confirm to the fact that who this mail ID is going to. That is the first etiquette basically you have to keep in your mind. When you add the two, make sure and make a confirmation regarding the ID, whether your ID is like this, right? So confirm the mail ID of the receiver. That is something that is really matter. Why? Because suppose that if you send the email to a wrong person, it is still undelivered to the person, right? So, and next one, add mail ID in the end after furnishing all the mail. Only you should add the two address. Make sure you always do this every time you furnish a mail. Next one, you can add a comma after each ID so that you can add it, or you can simply type the name and click and enter. So that's how you can add more receiver into the two. And what are things that you have to keep a little bit mind. To send an email, you have to enter the main recipients into the to field, and anyone who is in the carbon copy area has to be informed. Someone who need to be informed. Suppose that I am communicating to Prime Minister office or PM or Narendra Modi, and I put CC as Jay ji. So External Affairs Minister. I am keeping CC as External Affairs Minister, where that External Affairs Minister can also see what me and Prime Minister is talking, but he will not be directly involved into that. Okay, so that is a function of a CC. And then what is all about the blind carbon copy? Blind carbon copy is a person whose mail, maybe if I put Donald Trump or Putin, into the BCC, me and maybe the person who received, especially Narendra Modi, wouldn't be able to know that this Putin or Donald Trump is there in the chat box, right? So that is the function of BCC again. And then CC is always visible. If you do CC, it's always visible. But BCC, if you add, when you receive a mail, you won't be able to see who is BCC, but you can actually see who is CC. So let's also look onto the top box, that is a subject. You know that when you look over this image on the down corner, you can see that the image is basically talking about a small idea. These are not mails. These are just, you see over this side, follow up for job application 1234 1234, right? So sometimes you put resume job title, or sometimes your name resume 2 or application 2, right? These are the main area that you, after 2 you should confirm something, that always. And then when you put a subject, when someone receives, they will get the person's name who it is actually sent. Then they will actually able to see what is the subject. Still it is not the mail, the mail is still over here, the wall mail is still here. But you should use your subject so that the person who see the mail page can see, oh, John has sent me a mail. The mail is all about subject. It says next trip, right? So if I see next trip, okay, then I will click onto that. Then I can see the details of what is the next trip all about, the mail all about, right? So subject is basically a very criteria or mandatory thing where you should use to communicate, and then take that for a introductory preview of your mail. So the main heading of your email has to be kept as the subject and what is the mail about, and then the subject shouldn't be descriptive like 2024 May trip which is going to happen. You shouldn't have to make it into a sentence. Always use a 3 by 4 formula. What is the 3 by 4 formula? 3 or 4 words, or maybe maximum 5 words. Then you look over here, follow up for job application, maybe like 4 words. Always use a very precise, a short, clear and concise, short and specific subject area. Create a sense of urgency is something that is important. Like, when someone reads, you have to know, that person has to know, oh, this is very important mail out of all the list. That is how he clicks on the mail, right? So you should make sure that you have your subject something that is in the great one. In the 5 components, we have seen top box. Next is opening, where it has to be a grand opening, like something that opens something good. So what is that all about? Determines the nature of your relationship with the recipient. Suppose that you and your office colleague is someone who is very fine person. Suppose you and your manager is someone who is little respected, so you have to change and see very all about your openings, right? Next one, again, using dear, ma'am, or sir, and then during the greetings. When you can use dear John, dear Sarah, dear Mukesh, or something like that. And then again, when you see onto that, you can use either respected or dear, something like that. And again, next time when you send a mail, make sure whether that's a sir or a ma'am. Suppose that you are sending a mail to a ma'am and then you have addressed dear sir, bad impression, right? So basically you have to see, make sure whether that's a sir or ma'am. If you are not at all known to the fact that is that a sir or ma'am, you can use this way, sir or ma'am as slash. Got it? So after that, what you have to use? You have to use greetings and wishes. Just simply write greetings and wishes, maybe good afternoon or good evening or something like that. And what are the simple things that you can use in a mail like this? How you have to open? So you put dear John or dear sir and madam or something like that. And then next you put good afternoon or good morning or greetings and wishes, well wishes. Below that, you can simply write, hope this email finds you well. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope you are doing well. I hope you're having a great week. You can use many of the simple things based on the way how you are in rapport with the person. So giving a small opening, giving a small greetings is not going to hurt anyone. Rather, it is going to, thanks, I'm doing well. If you ask, hey, how are you? I'm doing well. So it's a good initiative, right? So always try to have a good opening where you just introduce the person, you just have the person, someone or more to be like connected little more better. Then what you have to do? Yeah, it's a good morning. Yeah, yeah. Let's come to the point. Introduce. So top box. Now we have come to the point where that was more about uh, opening. Now in the main area, the body. Body is basically all about the text area where you have to introduce the point. What is, why are you writing, where are you writing, and then who you are actually. Sometimes you will say when you are writing to the college or your principal, hi, I am John from this institute or this course, MSc course, in academic year of 2019-13. A lot of things you write, right? You just introduce. Sometimes you just say the introduce. You can see that in a small examples in the coming one, and then just introduce yourself sometimes. And then you can also introduce, says that what is this mail about, and then you can use in the introduction part of the body, you can use in 2 or 3 sentences. Don't drag it too much. You have dear sir or something like that, and then you have a small greeting. Then you are introducing, I am writing this or I am this person, and you introduce yourself, introduce your topic, maybe depends on what is the requirement. Okay, so use that in 2 3 sentences. Also use a fine tone and style based on the way that you are, and then always make sure that you keep a good vocabulary. Closeness to strangeness. You are very close to the person. You can say that, hey John, I am sending you this one. Please look after that. But if you are very far to the person, or if that person is very respected, you can say, "Hi, my name is this one." You will see all those models in very good, right? So that is how you have to charter your introduction, the basic etiquettes you have to keep in your introductions. Next, the middle area where you have to introduce the brief the matter. Either you introduce the matter in 2 3 sentences. Now you are going to tell. So in the beginning, you might say, I am looking for a job and I'm currently done with this graduation. I'm looking for a job. But when it comes to the content, you can say, I am very qualified in this area and have experience, and then a lot of things you can say. That is the area where a mail is determined whether which type of mail it is. Suppose that you are applying for a job, the main area should have a sentence or a writings like, I am applying for this job because I think that I have this enough experience. So that will be an application type of email, an email that apply. So next one, if you're requesting, suppose you are requesting for a leave. So introduce yourself like, I am this person in this class and all those things, and then you request. Say that because of my health issues, I am taking a leave, and then I am requesting, all these things. So that is based on request. And then we have appreciation email, we have welcome email, we have report email, we have inquiry email, and we have offer email, and it long goes way more. This is the why I have started with a small introduction about dress. Based on what is the occasion, you have to introduce your content. Got it? So that is all about the content, and you can use this idea of 3 4 5. Now here in the beginning, 2 by 3, now 3 by 4 by 5, where you can use 4 or 5 sentences to introduce your content. Finally, you have to end the conclusion saying that please kindly review on this matter that I have sent you right now in the content. And then you can use some 2 3 sentences like do take a review on that. It would be more better, and then all those aspects. I hope you are now clear with the body area. Okay, so if anyone wants to take note of this, please do take in between. So this is the area where introduction, content, and conclusions that you can keep in the body area. Let's look into the introductory area where, yeah, so introductory area where you can look into some of the aspect uh, introducing how you are. These are the few formats you can use in introducing. My name is Cody, and I am reaching out to introduce yourself, myself. Uh, these are the opportunities, and then let's look into the content side. This is an email that talks about your appreciation emails. Maybe you can take a screenshot. I am just running through all these aspects. These are different styles of email, and then finally you have the body over here where appreciating. Again, next one is all about official intimation of your resignation. Suppose it's a resignation email, and then you say that this is the decision, this is the content area, basically. And in the next one, you have job application, where you use the application type of thing. I am from this company, I have having experience. So next one is all about the conclusion. After the body, you are in the end part where it is going to conclude, right? So how you have to have a conclusions. So some of you can take a screenshot of this where you are like, please let me know how can I help you during this transition period. Please give me the updates. Please collaborate. Please feel to review this. These are the areas. So these are the main three area or the types of emails where it is decided, and then you can use many of these prompt. Basically, now you can say all these are prompts rather than saying these are the models, right? So you can use this for introducing your area. Fourth, and almost we are done now, closing area where we will be like, I told you in the beginning, we are just greeting, giving, sugarcoating. In the end, you are going to be being very positive and thankful for what they have, for their timing, and then you use being thankful. Then again, you say yours faithfully, sincerely thanking you. You can use many of that, and then you can say wishes and appreciations, based on that. You can say thank you for your time, appreciation for your efforts, looking forward for a positive reply, all these things. Okay, so you can take a small record of this. So this is how you can close your area. And finally, the bottom area where you can have your attachment. Make sure that you are attaching the right content on the right size, and then you recheck whether the same attachment has been added. And finally, again, the signature. It's sometimes you have to put your name, and then you can say you are this person, or you're the manager, you are the executive, this one, you are that. Okay, finally, there is a small option right now in Gmail or email that you can schedule the email to be sent. So what are the main time that you can check or send a schedule a mail? Monday mornings 9:30 were the openings of a this one company person. During that time you can do that, and then sometimes there will be break time, and then by 2 you can send an email, you can schedule for it. Sometimes you are not ready for sending it, but you can pre-schedule it. So likewise you can plan up, right? So that all will help you in getting the notice of the person. So this is the final model of a email where you can say to, we have enquiry on job vacancy, done, dusted. So that is basically all about a small subject, right? And then, dear sir, good morning and wishes. And then my name is this one, it is all about introduction. And then again we have the main content, and then we feel the closing area, and then we have the ending area, right? So these are the different area that you can keep in your mind, keep in your thought in sending an email. I hope you are clear with all these things. Now, finally, what all are the do's and don'ts? But in coming with emails, first we have to see the facts. What all are the don'ts? Don't send an email right away. Secondly, don't ever always reply all to the option, and don't add two to the first time, or maybe the two section, the in top box, and don't complex your email. So these are the don'ts that you shouldn't do, right? Don't send right away. Don't click on the reply all, which will become to all the person. Maybe you want to communicate only to the one person in the reply, and then don't add to the first. Don't make it complex. So what you have to do? Read, proofread again, reread again, check any corrections, do add or remove anything, add your attachment, check, recheck your ID or to ID, CC and PCs, then finally do send. Right? So these are the things that you have to keep. And finally, it's a simple thing: being concise, being professional, checking your correct spelling manners, and responsibility. Responsibility is something that you have to keep. Why? You send a message, you have to respond sometimes to many of the messages. So always keep this area also in your mind, where you have to be in your manners, where you keep it up. Addressing people is something that is beautiful. Watching your tone, respecting, friendly, being everything. Okay, so these are the main area, and then make sure that you check everything, then only send, then finally respond properly. Right? So that is more of like in a way that you can say how you have to be behaved in an email, right? So I just close on with that. Right now, you have understood how you have to write, where you have to write, what are the styles you have to write. I hope all of you are happy, and then I hope there will be a lot of insights for you now. So now that's the end of my presentations. Over to you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir, for this insightful session. So now, if anyone have questions about how to write the email and all things, so they can ask in the chat box. Before that, I'm going to share the feedback link. So please fill the feedback link, which is very valuable for us. Yeah. If anyone have any questions, so they can ask in the chat box. We can see over there is one question. What is the right way to attach documents and mention them in the email?
Okay, so
Yeah.
right way to attach. What is the right way to attach documents? I give you two steps. Before drafting the mail, you would obviously know what is an attachment, where you would be saving that, and you can do one thing. You can rename your attachment before you send it. Okay, so first you rename your attachment so that when you attach, you can see whether you are attaching the right attachment. Second, mention them in the email. Either you can go simple. I have attached my, I have attached one content or document. Please review the document that I have attached. You can use many of the prompts similar to that, where you can just simply mention, please review the attachment. Please check the attachment. Or I have attached the document below. So just simple way you just mention it. Don't, that is not a big thing. Anyway, they will obviously going to see the attachment, but just simply mention it. I hope you're clear with that.
Question is there, how do you handle situations where you need to send a long email with a lot of details?
That's a very wonderful question. How? So it's not always professional to send a big email like an essay. No, you're not going to send an essay to any person as a message. How are you going to do that? You can write that content as a specific cover letter in a Word file. You can have that maybe some 2 page or 1 page, whatever that is. You can make a message or instructions. Maybe it could be instructions. You can add that in a paper where in the format of a Word, A4 Word, you can add, type it, and then you can do the attach. Same time, you can mention that I am sending this mail regarding this area, this idea, and then in the body, you will say that you give a small brief, and then also you can mention the detailed part or detailed review, detailed aspect of this is attached as a letter with this mail. You can mention that. So basically, you are not going to make the person bored, and that will become more professional, and that will become more official, to have that attached and communicated rather than sending an essay of long story. Okay, so that is a professional way where you have to attach as a letter with an extra word file and also introduce your attachment card little brief in your word area.
Yes, sir. There is a question. How should you
Yes.
respond to a professional rejection email politely? And there is one
Okay.
more question. Okay.
So rejections of email rejections. Okay. Just take it simply to your real life days. When there is a rejection, you will never become happy. But what is ideologically that you have to do? You accept the rejection. You have to accept the rejection. But when you accept, I have told you already, when you open an email, when you close that email also, you have to smile. Just accept the rejection, respond to your rejection with a happy smile, saying that I am thankful for this information. I am delighted to have this mail reply from your side. I understand my lack of knowledge in this area. Uh, may you just introduce them, thankful or being thankful and happy to have rejected, not over happy, but you just say that thank you for your information, thank you for your kindness, thank you for your openly saying that you are not fit for this job, so that it will help me to upskill, it will help me to upmold and upgrade. So just respond happy, fine, and good way. So you don't have to feel bad. Anyway, letters and words won't convey your sadness. So just say it happy. Second question, what are the common mistakes to avoid in professional emails? Common mistakes. Basically, it all connects with words, vocabularies. So you can sharpen your English vocabulary or whichever the language that you're using, vocabularies really mattered. So always have the professional way of saying. You don't have to say that I was involved in a fight, but involved in a fight is actually meaning totally different understanding. Rather, if you are saying that I was defending myself, so it is actually giving a different meaning. So fight, defend. You should know which word you have to use according to the right way. So professionally, you will become good and better if you use the right choice of word, and then make sure that you have to convey it properly without giving different meanings. Simple as that. Okay, so always use simple sentences, not run-on sentences like that where you convey and all. No, simple sentences. Use professional words or good vocabularies, suitable vocabularies, apt vocabularies. You read it sometimes if that is very crucial, very mystic, you just give a small reading to someone else also as a proofreading. So this way you can avoid bit of mistakes in your email. Thank you.
What are the common mistakes beginners make when writing emails?
Beginners is a simple word where you can simply understand who is the beginner. Beginner is a person who doesn't even know how to start. So we have given a good beginning to those beginners to avoid a lot of common mistakes. You should know what all are the things that you have to do in an email. You should know what all are the steps. Basically, you can follow what we have learned today. By giving the same details, you have done a good criteria. Secondly, you have to see the mistakes that you're going to make through your words. What you types, what you convey is the real matter or real problem. You're giving two to the person, CC if you really need. Subject, you use only 4 or 5 words. Salutation is right. You have greeted them, and then ending yours sincerely, thankfully. You attach everything right, but what you write is really mattered. If you are really new beginner to the language or email writing, just simply say hi, this is this person in 1 or 2 sentences. Body, the content, you can say that I am writing this regarding this aspect. Just simply, you just introduce. Slowly, you will gain with slow and steady pace. You will win over the email writing. So that is how you can avoid a lot of mistakes being a beginner. I hope you are clear. Meantime, I will attend the next question from Karthik Kathir. How do you start a formal email if you don't know the recipient name? Okay, as I have told you, you introduce that person as dear, sir or madam, or dear. Simply you put dear. If you don't know the name, you simply put dear. If you know that that's a person or a guy, you can say dear sir. Or if you don't want to call that person sir or ma'am or something like that, if that is a dearest person, then you can simply say dear or hi. You can also mention based on how respected that person is. Okay, so that is how you can start. What is the difference between using regards, best regards, and sincerely at the end of an email? Regards, best regards, and sincerely. Regards is all about like you just simply mention. Ah, it's the regards. See, bye. It's simply like see you, bye, and then it's like bye, right? It's like good night, and it's like good night, sleep, dreams, a lot of things. Just addressing more. Regards, it's actually saying that best regards is something that you give more, you can say best hearty regards. It can more, it's basically an adjective, you just add to it, don't add too much. Okay, so that is all about that. I hope you understood. Sincerely is basically all about you are from the heart, you are saying. Faithfully, you are saying, if you are mentioning faith, yours faithfully, so you can believe me, yours faithfully. Yours sincerely means you trust on me. Yours lovingly means with all my love. Yours lot, right? So that is all having the same meaning. One more question. Sir, what length of mail
Sorry
is
for the
considered?
interruption, sir.
Yes.
Yes, that was the last question we were like taking. Okay, after that questions which are coming. So we'll collect the all questions and we will like take the feedback and answers and get back to you, the students. Okay. So thank you so much, sir, for the insightful session. Okay. On the behalf of all of us, I'm truly thankful to the same Shaji, sir, for educating to all of us on the email etiquette, write smart, respond right. Okay, and we learn a lot of about the email history, okay, subject to, and the formal emails and the informal emails also. Yes, so we learn, and it was really amazing session, sir. Okay, it was very valuable and insight from you. I can surely say whenever we are going to write the email, at that time we are going to remember you and your norms and your like insightful sessions. Yes, once again thank you, sir.
Okay.